And again, good afternoon for Project Review Committee, February 7th, 2024. My name is Oscar Cepeda. I am the Associate Planner within the Community Development Department. We're going to go ahead and start PRC at 1:35 p.m. With that, I'm going to go ahead and do roll call from city staff. Again, myself, Oscar Cepeda, the Associate Planner. We're also joined by Claudia Calderon, the Acting Community Development Director. We're also joined by Jeff O'Neill, the City Planner. We're joined by Javier Sanchez, the Engineering and Project Management Director. We're also joined by Clayton Dignam, the Fire Marshal for the Fire Department. We're joined by James Wickersham, our Chief Building Official for the Building Division. And we're also joined by Joe Baeza, our Field Services Street Superintendent. And also joined by Alida Verduzco from our Economic Development Department. And that is all from city staff. Oh no, sorry, Robert Alvarez. Robert Alvarez also joins us from Field Services. Now with that, I'm going to go ahead and open oral communications. This is the opportunity for members of the public to address the committee on any matter pertaining to project review. Hearing no comments in person or online, I'm going to go ahead and close oral communications. So for today's agenda, we have one item, which is Project Review Committee number 2024-004 for Carmen's Flower Shop, being proposed at 195 North Pocket Street. The subject property is located at the downtown retail North of Olive Zone District and also has a general plan land use of downtown retail use. As far as the new use, Carmen's Flower Shop for land use and zoning, it would fall under retail sales, which is a permitted use within the DRN zone district. Our understanding is there's not going to be major changes to the existing layout. But any changes to the exterior of the building would require to comply with the downtown design guidelines. Any future signage also complying with the downtown design guidelines and the development code, which the property is allowed 2 square feet of total signage per 1 linear feet of building frontage. In the future, if you're wanting to possibly display a temporary sign, grand opening, or Valentine's Day sales, it would require a temporary sign permit. Any future temporary events, for example, in the parking lot, there is an application for a temporary use permit if that is an option for you guys in the future. Also, other standards in regards to the existing parking lot, making sure it's maintained, free of debris, right, and other accumulated matter. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward from planning. And then we'll move along with our fire department with Clayton.
Basically just, for the fire department is, proper placement of fire extinguishers. So you have to have no more than 75 feet travel distance to a fire extinguisher. So however that lays out with the facility and its travel distance, so however the path is. So you might need 1, 2, 3 of them, whatever the case may be. And they have to be a minimum of 2A10 BC. I don't know that it has it already, and if it doesn't, we'll need to add Knox access, which is a Knox box. Basically that'll be mounted to the building at some point close to the front doors, where we'll put keys for the building in there so that the fire department can access it after hours if there's an emergency or a reason to go there. And then additionally, the garage area off the back, it is not to have any vehicles parked, stored, anything like that, inside the building at all at any time. So it can be, I mean, you can open the door, back up to it, have deliveries there, but there can't be any vehicles inside the building.
He's showing you right there in the alley.
You're talking about.
I'm talking about the garage itself.
Gotcha.
The garage that drives down, the slopes down, and there's that garage door.
Yep.
There can be no vehicles inside the building. It's off that back corner. I don't know that you can see it, but yeah, kind of right behind that white picket fence there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's that lower area in there, that garage area there can be no vehicles parked or stored in there.
Okay.
So, and that's pretty much it for us.
Thank you. Next with our building division with James.
So you guys are not planning on doing any
No, I just need
alteration?
big space. It's already ready to go. Nate already ripped out like all the pews. I don't even have to.
There is nothing in it.
Yeah.
Is there emergency lighting from the old business?
Either the bug eyes.
I'm thinking right now,
Exit lighting?
no, I don't think so.
I know we walked in there that one day, but, we would I would ask that we maybe do another walkthrough.
Yeah.
Just to make sure all the emergency, if there is lights, make sure they work.
Yep.
Make sure there's no maybe certain door hardware that would,
It depends on the house.
maybe just a walkthrough.
A walkthrough would be good.
Yeah.
Figure out.
There might be a need to change some hardware on the doors and then there might be a need to either repair or replace or install some additional lighting, because the lighting is the emergency lighting sometimes is affected if you're gonna have displays or things like that, like, hey, this is blocking that, we either need to move this or just add another one. So sometimes that kind of stuff comes into play. It's relatively minor stuff.
Yep.
It's not anything that breaks. I mean, you can get the stuff at Home Depot.
Yep.
You know, you can put it up on the weekend. A
Yeah.
handyman can put it up. It's not.
Okay.
I'm glad you got me there.
You're not a YouTube certified electrician?
I am.
I'm a YouTube certified mechanic. Plumber, handyman, like a general.
There it is.
all-around,
The YouTube, you said it.
certified.
And then, yeah, so if there's no, permits involved, then there would be also no way for us to enforce any accessibility upgrades, but, we would advise you, to possibly hire, a CAS inspector to look at any issues just for safety of you as the owner.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lawsuits.
Liability protection.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But that would be it for me.
Thank you, James. Next is Robert. With field services.
As far as water and sewer, there's no comments. I think probably need a 3-bin enclosure. Any modifications would need the approval of Brianna Spry, the field services refuse superintendent. Other than that, no comments.
Thank you, Robert. And with that comment, the trash enclosure would require to have for example, the perimeter landscape for screening purposes. So we'll add those comments as part of planning's, comments related to the design and standards for the trash enclosure.
You're needing the 3-bin?
That would be evaluated by Brianna, right, Robert?
Is,
Yeah, she would do the evaluation, but typically that's what they want every commercial business to do is have a 3-bin enclosure.
placing of that, is that up to Alma or?
It'd be up to, Brianna. I mean, you guys can propose.
Right. But then Brianna will say where,
Approve it, yeah.
is our goal to move it towards the alley, of course?
Towards the back, like, when you
Typically,
walk
they
that way.
want a direct stab to the bin. So in an area where they could, the truck could come in, directly stab it, dump it and place it within the enclosure.
100%. I'm with you 100%.
Like at the end, we're thinking about at the very end against that building.
I don't know if we're going against the
Against the
building
wall.
or put the back wall against the alley.
No, on the far end, the opposite end of that white fence.
Here?
Yeah.
What's the distance? It would need to be at least 5 feet away from that building.
Oh,
From
At the very minimum.
So it's
it would have
gonna
to
sit
be at
like
least
in-
5 feet away from the building.
so if we do it towards the garage,
Well, I would go more your alley over there.
Yeah.
And put the back wall.
Well, this is an entry approach right here, right?
Right.
They could even put it right here.
That's
they
what
could
I'm saying,
direct
right there.
stab, and then they can just drive out.
So then you don't need the 5 feet, you can put
Well,
the,
it'll still have to be 5 feet,
away from that
but
wall.
you're gonna have to have a planter anyway on
Right.
that side of it, so
Right.
should give you the separation.
Okay.
yeah, and then that'll give you a wall to give you a little bit of, security for,
But
It's
Oscar,
not just people driving through on it.
the landscaping in that location where they're proposing is 3 sides.
Is the perimeter. The way the code is worded is
Well-
perimeter.
But yeah, so like if they wanted to, just for example. You set a few feet here, come off of that 5 feet, put their 3-bin enclosure, have their landscaping on, front, back and sides. And then if they wanted to put a fence along here, they still have the drive-through and they have the direct stab and then the truck can go out.
And then
Right?
also
You don't
does it need a-
necessarily have to have the exit to the alley. Or it can have a gated access to the alley.
right? But you're saying, so that alley part has to be, landscaped also?
Just have to move forward a little bit.
Really?
It's actually gonna have to be either way at that end, because if we put it towards this way, against the alley, it's gonna block the direct hit to that trash bin already.
I would avoid you doing it. We've talked about
Towards
this
that
before.
building, yeah,
Avoid away from the building, just for the odor.
yeah.
And you're exactly right.
So it's for the neighbor.
Exactly. There you go.
But they're facing the other way.
But what I would do is might help you is, this is what I do, right? Is I would kind of draw like a scale, maybe on a big piece of paper or cardboard, and then cut out a scale of the bin enclosure with what required landscaping as on each side. And then you can kind of move it around to see
Yeah.
where it
Yeah.
fits best, and then have it, drawn to make your proposal.
Okay.
No, the trash guy, and we've talked, he comes through there to stab, the cafe one.
Yeah.
And putting it in front of there, he's gonna hate you if you put something
Yeah.
in front of, but again, that's gonna be difficult for him to do it. You're just worried about yourself right now,
Where's their bin at?
way down there,
See it?
It's
on
like
the
towards the
right.
picket fence.
Right there.
He comes through that
He comes
driveway
through
to stab it.
our parking, her
The dumpster faces
Faces
the alley.
faces the alley.
And there's no way he could just kind of like turn there.
Oh, no,
has to
he,
come-
he just comes down and pulls it out. I mean, that's just the killer. And then here's, you see the other one in front of the yellow car. That's theirs.
Well, this is one of those areas I think Bree was saying, like further downtown, they're trying to figure out how to design a better system than having just these dumpsters in the alleys.
Which,
Mm.
I think it's looking great for what you guys are doing for the city. It's just looking a lot cleaner and it is expensive, which is gonna be the interesting part. But, No, it's totally understandable.
We're doing good?
I'm not saying that.
Will you say that a little?
I'm not saying that. I'm on.
Did he just put us on the pedestal?
Right now. I'm not saying anything.
Sometimes Brianna has mentioned that, she's allowed like two business owners to share one cost. So maybe that ban by that car can go away
Yeah,
and that business can use yours
and share some of the
and
costs.
share some of the cost.
I prefer to share with them because not RJ's, that's food, that's definitely gonna smell.
No,
No, you couldn't do RJ's.
Yeah.
This one,
You're
Yeah.
talking
Oh, yeah,
to your
yeah.
tax lady.
okay,
Do you talk to them at all?
yes,
Nice. And that would help you to split it.
okay.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, that's something you would want
Get rid of that ban and then it'd help your.
incorporated into yours, and then you guys kind of communicate or negotiate how that works between the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's good.
So that's definitely, Robert, gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So what is it, what is that business, again, Tex?
Yeah, it's a bunch of small, like, little retail business, like gift shops, there's a clothing shop. And at the
Okay.
very end, it's Noemi's Tax Services, like, she's been there for years.
Okay,
Right there.
I'll communicate that with, Bree and we'll take a look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Next with Joe. Any comments?
No comments from the street department.
Thank you. And lastly, Javier. Any
For
comments
engine-
on this project? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for engineering, we wouldn't have comments since you wouldn't be doing any work requiring a permit.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty much a summary of all the department's comments. We'll provide these comments and or conditions in the letter that should be out in about 2 weeks from today's date. Are there any additional questions from the applicant at this time?
So the only thing I'm planning on doing is you saw those existing, like when you were talking about signs, I don't know if I could interrupt, but I'm just planning on putting signs
Huh?
in those existing locations. Is that okay?
You're not, making any changes.
Yeah, that one, and then
They
there's
had
one in the
to-
very corner of Mill and Hawthorne.
They had to go in there and do any like repairs or make any modifications to the existing stuff to make it light or whatever, like it would be a simple probably electrical permit.
Well, that one's already lit up, but I wasn't planning on doing the lit up part. I didn't want it.
You're just gonna
I mean, but if you
create some-
decide to do
yeah.
that and they have to come in and they're like, hey, we have to gut this whole thing because you've got to get this stuff. They don't make parts for this anymore. You got to do new stuff. I mean,
Then
and
that
they're gonna be
requires-
tying in. Yeah,
If you're just gonna make it
I
new.
you're just gonna make a new thing that fits in there?
Yep.
Plastic
That's exactly what she-
insert, I think, like
Yeah.
a plastic insert.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's
And
doing.
those two, okay.
Good question.
You probably want to upgrade anyway. You'd save money by paying the permit, putting LEDs in.
She doesn't want to do any
I
of
don't
that.
wanna
I'm just
do-
saying though, like if
I like the
Nowadays, it'd be
LED,
awesome.
I do, but they're always giving out. I've seen it. So I've talked to different businesses owners and it's a great investment. They see it, everybody can see it during the night, but they're constantly having to repair like each of those letters and it's just,
Well, the good thing about you though is you're not even at open nighttime.
Yeah.
So that
know.
lit up
I'm out by
part,
6.
yeah,
Where's the other sign right there?
this
Yes,
one is
the corner.
right there,
entrance to the drive.
and then down
In the middle of that
the
little,
blue one, way down.
in the middle of the highway,
There were three.
There's
in
just
the driveway.
that one.
And if for some reason, because Nate had given me a great idea, but I don't know if that's allowed. That wall that runs along that business over there, that tax service place.
The parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot. I wanted to like have it actually drawn, like painted in and
Like a
put like
mural?
lights, yeah.
I think there's downtown mural guidelines, right?
We could provide that process
Okay.
or information in the comments.
Okay. And then like the size of the signs too, cause
Correct.
I'm blowing it all up. I wanted to put another one like against the alley wall. That's like just,
On the
Oh,
wall,
So that faces D
Yeah.
Street.
the post
Yeah,
office.
so you're allowed 2 square feet per linear frontage. I think there's a maximum about
You'll have a lot of space.
Yeah, because the building has three sides fronting a street, I don't think, signage would be an issue.
Okay.
Just as long as it complies with the code and the downtown design.
I mean, if you put it on that side of the build, that wall. And it isn't there.
She's right, keep going,
Right
yeah,
there.
on that wall.
Yeah, on that wall, like under those 4 windows.
That part, or even jumping over
On top of
on,
them.
by across the street from,
You could
the
even
post
do it.
office.
You could even do it on top of them right
Yeah,
there.
on top of 'em.
Yeah, not more than second story. I believe the code.
Yeah, that's.
Great idea. So dealing with the closing, it's in a week. So her moving over, does she have to wait to move stuff over?
I don't necessarily think that's an issue. You'll need to put in for the address change for the business license. So I mean, everything that we're calling out is not anything that would hinder us from,
Yeah, we would just wanna do a walkthrough.
yeah, we just wanna do a walkthrough, but I mean, we can see that as you're moving stuff and that's not an issue.
Okay,
And then just make sure that the trash enclosure is.
Started.
processed, it's-
Yeah, usually if there's life safety issues, like we would make you get those done before you opened to the public, but not necessarily before you move stuff in, like. We give people the okay to stock shelves and stuff before they have their. That kind of stuff, so.
When could we do the walkthrough? Would you be able to tell me like where I would have to place the fire hydrant?
oh gosh, yeah.
Well, the fire extinguishers.
just said, yeah, sorry,
That'll,
hydrants, whoa.
that'll be based, and I won't show you specifically where they'll go, but I'll show you so that you'll know, oh, if I.
But don't
You'll
forget,
know
it's
what I'm
based on what you're putting in the
In
room.
yeah,
So he has no idea where things are gonna go,
So once it's all set up, then you can more or less.
but
well,
then,
and
Well, I could.
yeah, and I'll tell you how to do it. It'll be, it's not hard.
and if
It's
you
like
put
a one.
one, then you're going 75 feet from that one.
Actually, it's. You have to be within 75 feet.
Oh, gotcha.
So if I took a straight line right here, right, and I put one here and 150 feet, I put another one, at any point, you're within 75 feet of one on that straight line.
Nice.
Now, in your business, it's not in a straight line, it's how I would have to walk around this display and around that cabinet and around this display and around that cabinet. Is how you measure the 75 feet,
Gotcha.
so.
Again, it would be best for you to know where you're putting all your stuff.
But once I tell you that, and once you get it laid out, you can get them hung up and then we'll come down. And do that.
Also, you're probably not gonna put some stuff in a little spot where that's a good idea to put a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
You know, to walk through towards the bathroom in the main room,
You want one near the counter.
right there on the
also.
right side is a boom, and that's 75 feet.
And like upstairs, you may just have to put one upstairs, because you'll have to have one on each level, so you
In the
may just
middle.
stick one up there.
Just have a kitchen and I've told Nate I was completely unaware of that apartment up there. And I was
That
planning
would be
on,
another thing, there will be no sleeping in the building.
oh, no.
If we find that, then that triggers fire sprinklers.
Gotcha.
No.
Automatically triggers, like,
No,
sorry,
no.
it's, yeah, no, I believe you,
No
I'm just,
sleeping, no sleeping.
I'm just saying though, that's, once it's used for sleeping, has to have fire sprinklers.
Gotcha. Upstairs or all over?
You can't sprinkler.
Yeah, she wasn't even going there. It was
Back,
more of just.
back in
being-
the day, and we found back in the day, you could sprinkler portions.
No, I was just, the fact that I'm excited, I was able to gonna actually have like
Yeah, you can have a
a
break room.
little
in the kitchen.
refrigerator in the break room. I'm like, wow.
As long as
Yeah.
you're only like heating and warming stuff just for yourself.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Oh, gotcha.
As
Yeah.
long as you're not cooking commercially.
No.
That's okay.
Other than that side note, the concern of sprinklers in the building, I mean, their employees is literally like 5 to 7. And people coming in and buying things is not even gonna hit more than 10. Yeah.
Fire sprinklers is a trigger, unless you're doing something that triggers them. Right? You parking a vehicle in the building, right? It's the same warning, no sleeping in the building.
So if this building would have been larger and you changed the occupancy,
Yes.
then the code allows, then the code.
So if this
Required.
crested, so let's say this was,
12,000.
let's say this was 12,100 square feet.
Yep.
You'd be putting sprinklers
Yep.
in for this
Yep.
business.
You know.
Because it's below that threshold.
Yeah.
It's what we consider existing non-conforming.
And you're gonna get everything that they're talking about today
In writing.
in writing. So like when he's talking about what fire extinguishers you're buying,
It's NBC's.
it'll be on
Yeah.
there.
Got a number, I didn't get it.
It's a rating, it's a rating. It's just
Okay,
a rating
Alrighty.
system.
I'm a little new to all this, so. Alrighty.
We try to make it easy.
Rosie's the one that, like, when we opened up the shop right there in the corner, she's the one that did all this and got that fire extinguisher in there. We had, I don't know, I was like 14 at the
No, it'll
time.
be, and that's the greatest part of what they're talking about on the walkthrough.
So just,
That's the part of just, hey, we need this, we need this. It's just for your safety. And that's all great.
alrighty. So also later on down the road, maybe like in 5 to 10 years, somewhere in between there, we were planning on doing, instead of just having that self-standing refrigerator, I wanted to walk in, I could just come in here and ask for a permit. That wouldn't like trigger sprinklers or anything like that.
Because you're not changing the footprint of the building.
Yeah, I'm
And
just
you're not
gonna,
changing the occupant.
okay,
So all that would be, if you have to, depending on what load that thing is gonna draw, then it might require upgrading those electrical outlets, right? To, because if it has a different plug, some of them are bigger. Depends on what that's
Yeah.
down the road stuff, but I mean, again, those are simple. Oh, you just need an electrical permit. It's what, $80?
okay.
You know what I mean? And then an electrician does the wiring and then you put it in.
I was just wondering if it would trigger sprinklers. I hear sprinklers and I get worried.
No, sprinklers are only triggered by size,
Okay.
occupant load, and then.
Don't start selling furniture.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, or use, there are some uses, right? So there are certain things, like the restaurant, right? The restaurant threshold was 5,000 square feet. So it had to be sprinklered if it was gonna become a restaurant. Cause it was over 5,000 square feet. But when you take out the restaurant component and you put in, hey, we're just gonna be selling normal stuff, a store, then it goes to 12,000.
Oh, okay. So it just depends on the type of business.
Mhm.
Okay. Alrighty, that was my only questions.
Very exciting.
Sounds good. Any other comments? No? So we'll provide these, comments from the departments in a letter in about 2 weeks from today's, meeting. If you have any additional questions, feel free to always reach out to staff and we'll be able to try to answer your questions. All right, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and end today's, PRC meeting at 2:02 PM. I would like to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you.